and welcome back to Tuesdays with Leyla. I'm so glad that you could join me this Tuesday, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. So far I am. However, outside it is a cold gray bucket of suck. So my lighting's not the best today, but it's not about lighting, it's about a message I have to give to everybody. So which is kind of funny because I really don't have a message per se this particular Tuesday. We're approaching the holiday, so I've just been really busy trying to make sure I have things done, shampooing the carpets, doing a thorough rundown cleaning of the house. I'm gonna have guests over. So, and then I'll be leaving later on that day and going to other family. So, it's just a busy holiday. And fortunately, I'm off this year, which is nice. And so I've just been busy preparing for that. And I'm sure everybody is. This is a very busy time of year where perhaps maybe our workout regimens and diet regimens kind of almost slip away by the wayside. Not necessarily because we're trying to overindulge, but just because life gets so busy and it's just so hard to fit in the time. And then not only that, but just, keeping up with it, especially if you're going places and there's going to be all kinds of food and you're going to be making all kinds of food. So this one's just maybe help get you some motivation through this busy time. There will be a video the week of Thanksgiving, that particular Tuesday, so I will film. I don't want to skip, but it's going to be probably really short and not much to it because even though I don't work the holiday, I have a lot. I have to work like almost every day up to the holiday from Friday. So it's going to be, I'm going to be uber busy, but I'm going to try and make sure I get it out there, even if it's just a quick 2-3 minutes to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I promise you that. I have to stay on top of this to keep myself accountable. So like I said, today is a very cold gray bucket of suck out there, and so I won't be getting out to walk. I did do a Leslie Sansone Walk Away the Pounds. I did the 2 mile today, just 30 minutes, because I just, I'm like, okay, I got to get it in, but I've got so much stuff I've got to get done, and my time is very limited. So anyway, going on, I did want to say with the holidays coming up, I wonder if people are going to be changing up their food repertoire, maybe throwing in some more healthier options, or what are you going to kind of do to get through it? I really stick with just my normal traditional holiday dinner that I make, which is a turkey, cornbread stuffing, mashed potatoes. I usually make broccoli, cheese, and rice casserole. I usually do some type of sweet potato casserole, lots of fresh veggies, and of course a salad, and pumpkin and apple pies, because those are kind of important things for Thanksgiving. But what I do to, I guess, kind of curb myself is I just really watch out for my portions, which is sometimes it's not easy, but you get a 10-inch dinner plate, it's bigger than your face. I just try to make sure that I stick within that center ring of the dinner plate. So I don't let my food go outside on the edges. And you know what? Next week I will show you one of my dinner plates, because mine have like this fluted edge, so it makes it a little bit easier to stay within that center. But if you don't have that option of, being able to stay in the center of your plate, or all you have is a particular size plate, get a lunch plate, or just try and keep a visualization in your head of just the center of the plate. Because honestly, if you even just eat that much and you sample a little bit of everything, you're going to be so full by the time, to even work the outside edges. And I think that we almost kind of have it ingrained in us, and maybe some of us were raised that way, that you clean your plate. There are starving people all over the world. You clean your plate, or you don't get this or something. So we kind of get that stuck in our head that we have to eat everything that we put on the plate. So if that's kind of where you are, where you have to eat everything you see on your plate, then it's a good idea to just use either a smaller plate or keep your plate, just to the middle ring of that plate. That's the food. And then you can eat all of that but just don't go outside, I guess, the edges. And that's what works for me. So that's just an idea out there for people. If you're struggling with that, especially knowing you're going to be going somewhere for Thanksgiving where the options, you really don't have much of kind of control over what you're going to be fed, but you do have control of how much of it you're going to eat. And if you do overindulge and you become a little bit gluttonous and then, you're paying for it an hour later, you have to give yourself a break. You're a human being. It's one day. It's not like it's every day. It's a one day thing. So if that's what you want to call your cheat day or whatever, then have at it, and don't punish yourself too much. I think that is kind of like my ongoing theme always, is that if you strive for perfection, your life is just going to walk right past you and it's going to be miserable. And take it from somebody who has done that for a very good chunk of her life. It becomes, you live in this misery because you're trying so hard to be something that does not exist. It's literally impossible. And even if I could be perfect, I'd find a way to make it more perfect. And that's kind of that slope we go down. So you really can't beat yourself up too much. You are a human being. You sure as heck didn't gain your weight overnight. You're sure as heck not going to lose it overnight. It becomes lifestyle, not just habit. It becomes part of your repertoire. So you want it to take some time, and you also want to live in the experience. One of the things that's hardest to do is to live in the moment rather than trying to live in the future or living in the past, but be present. I guess your positive affirmation, and I say this all the time, but I really mean it, is don't punish yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're already your own worst enemy. Give yourself a break. So that's definitely your positive affirmation. And I don't have a positive quote per se, but I have a really good positive piece of advice to help you live in the moment. This takes time, it takes practice, and it's something that I learned how to do through therapy. But take, if you can, 5 minutes every day. If you don't have 5, make it 2. If you don't have 2, make it 1. But take a moment and just sit there and be. Listen to the sounds that are around you. Smell things in the air. And just pay attention to the stillness. If it's not still, if you're in the middle of a busy street, take a moment and sit there and soak that all in. Hear the cars going by, maybe birds chirping, maybe people talking, maybe brakes squealing. It can be anything really. But take a moment and listen to it all and kind of soak it in. And what works for me, because that takes a lot of practice, a lot of time, and there's lots of guided meditations that you can do, which is kind of what this is. But what I do is when I'm taking that moment in time is, if I am in a busy place, and sometimes I like to be in a busy place and hear everything going on around me, is I will listen and I'll hone in on something. Like I'll hone in on a bird chirping and I'll just listen to that for a moment. Or I'll hone in on a car, or hone in on the sound of like a blinker, or just the hum of electricity from a building around you, and just kind of hone in on that for a moment. And then you'll realize you're in that one moment of time. I'm not in the future thinking about that. I'm not in the past reflecting on trying to predict my future, but I'm in that one moment. Try to do that as often as you can. Just by practicing that, you'll learn to be more present in the moment. And kind of like especially with Thanksgiving coming up, if you're at a table, and you have lots of people around you or something, take a moment just to be still and just listen to everything going on around you just for a moment, not really listening, not listening, I should say, but hearing There's a difference, you know, of just the chatter going around, the sounds of the forks clanking, the dishes, you know, things like that. Just take that moment and be present in it. And you'll be amazed at how uplifting that feels. And be like, wow, how many other little moments am I missing worrying so much about something that's in the future or dwelling on something that was in the past? And I'm telling you, I get goosebumps when I think about it, because it took me a long time to be able to accomplish this, honestly. And now that I know that I can, like even just sitting here while I was talking, I was kind of watching just this leaf fall off the tree, and I don't know, you might have saw my eyes trail over there and my thought kind of leave me for a minute, but it's, you know, when you stop and you take that moment to be present in life, it's just such a beautiful thing. So that is kind of my piece of advice, not really a positive quote, but take a moment every day, even if it's only 30 seconds, and be present in that moment. You know, be in that moment, not thinking about tomorrow, not dwelling about yesterday, but that moment right there in time. And just sit in that for a minute. And I don't know what it'll do for other people, but I know for me it changes my perspective on everything. Like sometimes if I'm like really upset or stressed, I will say, okay, let's stop and just take a moment. Let's breathe and just look and listen. And I'm telling you, changes everything up for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to appreciate you so much for taking your time out to listen to me kind of ramble on today. But I do very much appreciate it. And I want everybody to have a wonderful, fantabulous day. If you have any questions or anything you'd like me to touch on, any topics, anything, I'd be more than happy to. Just let me know down below in the comments. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Ciao.